What's up, guys? This is your source, and I wanted to do a video comparison of these two boards. You got the Evolve Bamboo GT, very well-known company. If you know anything about electric skateboards, you've heard of Evolve. And you got the Lacroix Board, which is a much newer company, much smaller company, but I absolutely love this board. And I've got some other videos you can check out that kind of show some ride footage, some other thoughts on it. But I want to do a little bit of a comparison between this board because it's a very popular brand and I happen to have it in my possession, and kind of talk about the differences between the two and see, you know, as we look at it, you can kind of make a more informed decision of which one you might want to go for if you're considering one of these options or maybe a different option. Okay, so Evolve, you know, they have different boards that you can buy. But the three main ones is the Bamboo GT, they have the GTX, the Bamboo GTX, and then they have the Carbon GT. All of them perform the same as far as like top speed and torque, but the GTX and the Carbon have a larger battery capacity, so they have better range. And then obviously you have a different material with the carbon fiber on the Carbon GT. Of course, they are more expensive as a result as well. The Lacroix board, you have two options right now on their website. At the time I purchased this one, they only had the one option, and I have that, the Samsung 30Q battery, and then you have the 2700 cells that they use as well. And the 2700 will give you more range, but it's, you know, a few $100s more expensive. The range on this already is incredible, so I didn't, you know, like I said, that option wasn't even available when I purchased it, but I don't feel like I've missed anything. And the performance is exactly the same, and the weight is the same as well. It's just that the range is better, and of course it costs more. But like I said, the range is already excellent on that. So the differences between these boards, what I like, what I, you know, kind of don't like maybe, and which one would I choose. I will tell you right now that I would choose this one hands down if I had to do it again. The difference, obviously, one is the price. Now this one costs less than this one. This is the model that I have was $2,300 on their website. This one for Evolve, I believe on their website, it's just under $1,500 for the street setup, and then you pay more for like the Bamboo GTX and the Carbon. And then you also pay more if you switch to the AT setup, and you pay even more if you do like the 2-in-1 where you get both setups. So with this one, you don't have an option of a street setup, but for me, and I think for a lot of people that have, you know, ridden electric skateboards and you've tried the pneumatics, it's hard to go back. I mean, especially if you're buying a board like this that has like that range, so you're planning on riding it for a long time. Unless you're riding somewhere that really has like awesome streets, super nice, clean, new blacktop, you're gonna feel it a lot more. Flexible decks and things like that can help, which this board does not have a very flexible deck. Don't be fooled by the bamboo in the name, although it does flex some on kind of the ends. The battery is not really made to flex, so it doesn't have a lot of flex. This board, the battery, as you can see, is kind of segmented. It's one piece. It's a beautiful design with the carbon fiber enclosure, but it does have actually a fair amount of flex. It's not so much that it's like a trampoline, you feel like you're going to get thrown off, but it's enough to absorb shock, feel carvy, super comfortable. So that's kind of like the feeling of like the decks, like as far as like the flex feedback goes. This one is a lot flexier. When you look at like other decks kind of similar to this, like I did own a Cali NYC board for a little bit, and they had the Trampa deck, which is a composite material, and they are flexier, but I don't really like the super aggressive shape of that deck. It's more aggressive in this curve, and it also is more aggressive in this angle. This is just enough where you feel really grounded. It feels super comfortable. This is a lot wider. It has concave, which the Cali board, or really that Trampa deck doesn't. And I also really like, you know, that it's tipped up here at the nose and tail, whereas the Evolve doesn't have that. You do have the drop through design here, which is nice. You can kind of use this as kind of like a foot stop area if you wanted to brace your foot against something. But this is much better. I mean, much better, and it's very comfortable. The Trampa boards, their deck is a lot more aggressive there, and I just didn't feel as comfortable. It actually kind of hurt my toes sometimes, like, and because the shape is so aggressive, it does not feel very natural to me. I never tried them with bindings, but you know, so that's what I have to say about that. Performance-wise, you know, and I will say, like with Evolve, you know, a lot of people complained about remote connectivity and then battery sag over time. Now, mine I actually did buy used, but the battery performs very well. I mean, I haven't really done a for real range test with it, but it seems to do pretty good. The remote, so just looking at the remotes real quick, and then we'll get back to performance. But you know, you got the R2 remote, 4 different modes. I never really used the other remote. This one doesn't seem to have connectivity issues. It seems to work really well. But you got, you know, throttle, brake, and then 4 modes. Slow, which I'll never use, only for absolute beginners. Eco, only if I have to use it, or maybe if I'm in a crowded area and I don't want a lot of throttle response. Fast, which is pretty quick. You know, it's definitely a satisfying speed. It's nice. GT, which is really fun. It's very, very torquey, even more torquey than the fastest speed on this one, just so you know. But it totally kills your battery, and you know, it's not something. I mean, you can get used to it and ride in GT, but it you know, it just eats up battery, and it's a lot of people don't like it because it's so torquey and a little bit jerky. So you know, it's kind of a preference thing. This one has 2 modes. It's the Nano V2. Very common remote used in DIY. Not very expensive, very simple. It's got the you know, throttle and brake. Works very well. Connection issues, never had any. Very stable connection. It's got 2 speed modes. It's got the normal mode, which is very fast already and powerful, and then it's got down for like the ludicrous super fast mode. Now both modes are tuned so whenever, even if you pin the throttle, it won't throw you off from the takeoff. It's not as torquey right off the line as the GT, but make no mistake, this thing has incredible torque and power, and as soon as you start rolling, like, it really starts to ramp up, but it doesn't like hit you all at once where you like have to try to like counter it, you know what I'm saying? So it's actually very, very comfortable to use. I really like it. And this remote overall, I mean, I like it. As far as like the medium, or like the normal mode and the fast mode, I was talking with Alex, the co-creator of this, whenever I picked it up. It just cuts the top speed and the like the power to 70% of its maximum capacity, and then obviously the other one is 100%. So that kind of gives you an idea of it. So with like range and hill climbability, torque with these boards, you know, both are good. The Evolve is a really good board, and it's by no means a weak board. But when we were in Montreal, my wife and I, you know, there's actually a lot of hills there, and this board just crushes everything, and it's barely even breaking a sweat. It's not like if I can get up that hill, it's usually how fast do I want to go up that hill. This board can make it up most hills. You know, you're definitely going to drain your battery faster, and you know, climbing hills drains any battery faster. But you know, this one, it's like, okay, awesome, you can make it up with this board. But this one, like I said, it's just, you know, how fast you want to go up it. And then top speed, obviously this board is faster. Acceleration, although this one has a GT, I just feel like this one has stronger acceleration. So all in all, you know, which one do I like better? Although this one does have some cool features, like the double kingpin trucks, which is a little bit carvier of feeling. It is lighter than the Lacroix board by a good bit, you know. But this one, the trucks on this, actually you get a pretty good carve. I mean, it's really good. Those are just amazing with the double kingpin design. But it's not quite as stable at higher speeds. This kind of has everything all around. Like, I feel like it's pretty perfectly balanced. Obviously, it'd be cool if it was like a lighter board, but you're not going to be able to get that with what you're asking for with the performance. So performance-wise, this crushes it. It's a little bit more expensive, but I feel like it's worth it if you want something that's incredible. So those are my thoughts. Love to hear yours. Hopefully this helped. We'll see you guys in the next one.